Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Pro Football Historian channel. I'm your host, Flink Given, and today we'll be discussing Week 5 and previewing all of Sunday's games, including Monday. But we'll first start off previewing the Thursday night game between the Colts and the Broncos. Obviously, this is one of the more ugly games in general, not just Thursday night, but not much good going for either side of the ball. I think the Broncos moved the ball a little bit better than the Colts, but both quarterbacks threw some ugly picks. Both offenses didn't do well. Couldn't protect the quarterback. Uh, Quarterback, offense system, whatever, both did not play well. I will say the difference is, I think, besides picks, I thought Matt Ryan played all right. And then for Russell Wilson, I know he's dealing with an injury. But there's, the picks were questionable and at bad times, which took off points. Just missed some passes, not on the same page with some of the receivers. Can't say exactly, besides the injury, which the injury shouldn't explain, doesn't explain all that. I don't know. It's been, bad start for both of these quarterbacks, but both, they're one's 500, the other one's close to it. We'll move on to the games starting with London's game. The Giants versus the Packers, the first matchup in London between two winning teams. And for me, I think the Packers are probably going to win this game. They should win this game. And, if they play the same plan they did like the Patriots defensively, they're going to allow the Giants to run the ball. And I think from what Matt LaFleur is talking about, I think they're going to play more aggressive or not as, playing the high shell quarters defenses that they've been running. And that should help them with the run. Now, is it going to stop it completely? Probably not. But their corners should be able to cover the Giants receivers. And Jair is now back for the Packers. Jair Alexander. I mean, there's not much threat to the offense for the Giants, and then defensively, the Giants defense. I don't really see them. They got some injuries too. They got a lot of injuries, the Giants. But I don't see how they slow down the Packers. This should be the first game the Packers either, look really good, clicking on all cylinders, or at least at worst maybe with the Bears they did against the Bears. Getting 27 points but having two turnovers, which they could have easily have 41 possibly in that game. So I'm going Green Wave in this game. Then we got Pittsburgh and Buffalo. This is the first time Pittsburgh's been a 14-point underdog in like over 50 years. I know Pittsburgh won this game last year. I think it took a lot of not luck, but some special teams and then some just bad plan from the Bills' standpoint. I think not only is Buffalo better, Steelers are missing T.J. Watt. They're playing a rookie quarterback. I'm going to just pick the Bills. I think it might be closer than 14 points, but, we'll obviously see on Sunday. I'm going with Bills. I think they're just way better team. And I think they're a little bit more explosive than that matchup in week 1 of last year. Going with another game from last year. I think this was maybe a week 3-ish type game. It was a shootout. That's all I could really remember for sure. Both teams scored like in the 40s. This is a really tough one. I could see the Chargers, I feel like, are the better team. Maybe it's because of their quarterback. Both are very talented teams. But I don't see the Chargers really taking advantage of the interior defensive line that struggles against the run for the Browns. And I think the Browns could take advantage of what the Chargers struggle with, defensively, which is against the run, especially interiorly. So I'm going to go with Cleveland, but, obviously not very confident. And both teams could easily have a better record, and they just don't. Moving on, Jacksonville, Houston. Houston is one of the last 8 or so matchups against Jacksonville. I'm going to pick Jacksonville, but I do think they're probably going to split the series. Just, maybe just because of history, or I mean, history would show that Houston should get both games, but I think just Jacksonville's way more talented, way better team. Houston really hasn't done much. Besides, you could say at least offensively in the first 3 quarters of week one they did something, and they did have some scoring drives to try to get it close last week. But overall, I'm going to go with Jacksonville, just the better team at home. And pretty much the same reason here. Better team at home. Bears now, even though they're 2-2, I don't have a lot of confidence in them. And you can even say their coaches don't really have much confidence, at least in the offensive side of the ball. And I think they even struggle against the run, which if the Vikings get Dalvin Cook or Madison going, that makes their offense really hard to stop. And then I kind of see that happen. I know the Bears kept it somewhat close last year in both games. Even then, Vikings won both of the games, I believe. So I think they're going to win this game and should win the game even in Chicago later in the year. This is very tough because Bailey Zappe's playing for the Patriots. I'm going to go with the Patriots. I don't know if it's even an upset or not. They are home. I think they're going to be the first team to really slow down the Detroit Lions offense. And they're going to need to with, a rookie quarterback, 4th-round pick from Western Kentucky. And I think they can run the ball. I think they can do – New England should be able to do what they want against the Lions. And because their defense, I think, is a pretty good defense. I think against Jared Goff and, some of the bang-up receivers, if they even play for the Lions, I think New England can have a shot to make this a low-scoring game, which is surprising the most, but I don't think Detroit's offense is as good as the numbers show. This game's another tough one. I'm going to go with the Saints. I know they've had injuries. They're going with Andy Dalton this week. Alvin Kamara at least is back. And I think they should be able to stop the run game of Seattle. They don't have a great offensive line. And if they do that, then it's up to Geno Smith, who's had a pretty good, solid year, so far. But I just, I don't see them, even though I think Geno Smith's a better quarterback in this game over Andy Dalton. I think the Saints are more talented, have a better team, even though, again, they're 1-3, I get it. But their Alvin Kamara back should really help them on offense. So I'm going with the Saints in a close one against Seattle. There's another game struggle. I don't really know what I want to pick here. I mean, I could see either team winning it. Get Teddy Bridgewater for the Dolphins. Get the Jets at home, coming off that comeback win last week against Pittsburgh. I'll go with the Dolphins slightly, but I'm not very confident. I think just the extra rest and time should help them. And that's really my reasoning. There's not a lot to it. They're a better team, but better quarterback is on the Jets. And, they should be able to make this a close game. The defense isn't bad. And, it's going to be up to, do the Jets give up some big plays defensively, and can their offense stay somewhat balanced? Moving on, Buccaneers, Falcons. Yeah, I like what the Falcons have done, but they have had some injuries going into this game. I think Tampa Bay's still more talented, even with those injuries, and they're home. I have a hard time seeing the Bucs losing this. I want Tampa Bay. Another game. This could go either way, but I think the Tennessee just has better coaching staff, better team. I do worry about the weapons, but I don't think this is a great defense for Washington. I have a hard time seeing them slow down Derrick Henry, but even if they do, I could see Tennessee still getting 17, 20 points. That should be enough to beat Washington. Now, if they could protect Wentz, they could take advantage of the Tennessee's secondary because they haven't played that great. And, they have a bunch of young guys trying to just get used to playing in the NFL. And that's some of the struggles they've had. But they have jumped off to a good start. and hope they can continue that. If you're rooting for Tennessee, you're hoping picking Tennessee in this game. And then Carolina hosting the 49ers. This should be an ugly game. I just have a hard time seeing the Panthers score more than 10. Maybe they get a defensive touchdown or two, and that's the reason they win this. But 49ers should win this game. They're a really talented team. And, quarterback wise, even though I know Baker's had the bad year, you could say Garoppolo's even had a rough start too. I still think Baker's a better quarterback. The surrounding cast and the scheme and offense core really, it's hard to make any quarterback look good in that offense. So picking the 49ers, but at least they have the better quarterback, Carolina, I believe. Also have the better running back. And both teams have a really good receiver, number one receiver. But just so much more in the 49ers have over that. And I have more trust in them to pull off this win. Now, in this game, I think the Eagles definitely should win this game. But I don't think they've won in Arizona in over 2 decades, surprisingly. But Philadelphia, they're definitely a more talented team. The only chance I see Arizona winning this game is they can score a bunch of points because I don't see their defense slowing down Philadelphia. They don't have a very good defense. Zach Allen had a pretty good game. J.J. Watt's battling some heart issues and other injuries. And they don't, other than the safeties, I don't really trust much else with the team. They got some okay linebackers who have been so far somewhat disappointing. But that's what I just think Philadelphia's going to be able to do what they want. Unless Arizona can keep up, I don't really see them having a chance of winning this game. And then this game, the Rams hosting the Cowboys. They're favorites, the Rams. It's just tough. There's not a lot going well for the Rams. And I'm not really sure who I really want to go with. But I will say, this is the first game I think the Rams defense, or in this perspective, Cooper Rush hasn't played a defense like the Rams or anything close to this. Bengals were pretty good, solid group, but I think the Rams are just a better group. Even though they have been spectacular this year, they're still a pretty good defense. And I think that should keep this a pretty low-scoring game. And I know offensive line worry about for the Rams, protecting Stafford, but, Cowboys, they're going to give you chances, and I don't see them, double covering Cooper, the receiver Cooper, and then they have Allen Robinson, who those guys should be good against these zones if they do play zone. The Cowboys have been mixing it up. But it allows them to get the ball out of their hands. Maybe they have a chance to run it inside. They haven't really ran it good against anyone, the Rams, but it should be an ugly game. But we'll pick the Ram. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys win as well. This is another tough game because the Ravens are home. But I'm going to go with the upset with Cincinnati. Surprisingly, I think the Ravens are going to lose another home game. I just think their offense struggles with pressure, and the Ravens can't really get pressure. And it's going to put these guys on those good receivers that the Bengals have, and it's going to be hard to slow down. I don't expect Joe Burrow to throw for 400, 500 yards like he did last year. But I don't, at least the Bengals even should be able to stop occasionally the Ravens. I just think they match up somewhat okay or well with the Ravens. And that gives them a chance to, win 3 straight. That would be Baltimore's 3rd loss in a row. And then moving on to the last game, Raiders, Kansas City. Picking Kansas City. I mean, maybe this could be a shootout, kind of like I feel with Arizona and Philadelphia, but Kansas City's way better team. And They played against Devontae Adams last year, so it's not going to be anything new again for them. They play the Raiders twice a year. They blew them out once last year. I think that was in Kansas City. Yeah, actually, it was in Kansas City. I don't give the Raiders much of a chance. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs on this one. And that's all the games this week. And it was pretty quick. Just going through very, very, fast pace. And hopefully you guys enjoy. There's going to be a lot of football, from 9:30 Eastern time all the way to 8:15, obviously midnight when that game would end. So enjoy the weekend, enjoy Sunday's games, enjoy Monday night, and have a great day.